And the gate moves on to the backstretch. First race pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing off. Stride goes King Royalty. King Royalty is on a break at the back of the pack. On the outside, there goes After the Lovin'. Down inside, Sunburst Cruise. Gap of 5 lengths to Rock on the Hill. Comes away third. Followed by It's All About Mock. Way back through on the field, back on the pace. It's King Royalty. Paddock turn the first time. It's Sunburst Cruise. Sunburst Cruise on top here, shown away by a full length at the pylons. After the Lovin' right there in second as they pace by the opening quarter. In 27-4. They're in the stretch for the first time. And Mike Gerard has Sunburst Cruise on top by a length. Followed by After the Lovin'. Up on the outside, here comes Connie Benetti with It's All About Mock. Followed by Rock on the Hill and John Sears. And on the field, it's King Royalty, fifth and last, as they swing around the clubhouse turn. Sunburst Cruise on top. He leads it by a length. It's All About Mock on the outside. After the Lovin', locked in towards the inside, followed by Rock on the Hill right there in fourth. Halftime goes in 56-4. They straighten out down the backstretch. And it's Sunburst Cruise, and he's got the lead. After the Lovin', right there in hot pursuit, racing in second. It's All About Mock towards the inside, racing in third. As they continue on down the backstretch. Sunburst Cruise at 3-5 on the point. After the Lovin', right there in second, 3/4 up. In 124-2, they're on the final turn. It's Sunburst Cruise showing the way. After the Lovin'. Buying against time in the pocket. Racing in second. It's All About Mock towards the inside, giving chase in third. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home, and it's Sunburst Cruise trying to shake off After the Lovin' on the wide side. These two coming down to the wire. It's a fight to the finish. Sunburst Cruise, After the Lovin' on the outside, but it's going to be Sunburst Cruise holding on. Time for the mile, 1:53-4. Pacing the mile in 1:53 4/5. Fifth. Rock on the Hill was fourth. After the Lovin', second. It's All About Mock, third. Top down, 1:5-4-2-3 on the bottom. Time for the mile, 1:53-4. And from the first race, number 1, Sunburst Cruise, was claimed by David Del Pozo of Methuen, Massachusetts. Tronic event, the purse $10,000. These are the trotters for race number 2. Number 1 is Susquehanna, owned by the DeStefano and Son stable, driven by Mike Stevenson. Number 2 is Me Too Baby, owned by Tom Dillon, driven by Matt Thurn. Number 3, Ray Barnes, owned by Earl and Kathy Beeman, and Shirley Mashad, the driver Ivan Davies. Number 4 is RFL's M London, owned by Al Ross, driven by Jim Hardy. Some Big Bank Hanover, number 5, owned by Mike and Mark Eaton, Bob McHugh, and Robert Griffin, the driver Nick Raffam. Number 6, Crazy Money DeVee, owned by the George Ducharme stable and the Winters Racing stable. Sean Gray driving, and number 7, Don't Fire, owned by Terrence McGee, Drew Monty, and the Sulky. The starter has called for the horses. The trotters are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. Race 2 trotters lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the backstretch. Second race trotters in behind the gate. They're off and trotting. There goes RFL's M. London out for the lead. Down inside, Me Too Baby. Some Big Bank Hanover on the outside comes away third. Susquehanna settles in fourth. Gap of a length and a half to Ray Barnes, followed up by Crazy Money DeVee. And true on the field, Don't Fire. Paddock turn the first time. It's Me Too Baby on top here. Rolling up on the outside. Here comes some Big Bank Hanover to challenge for the lead. Quarter time goes in 28-3. They're in the stretch for the first time. And here comes Nick Graffam on the outside with some Big Bank Hanover, who comes on to get the lead. Me Too Baby back to second, followed by RFL's M. London trotting third. Susquehanna is fourth. Then comes Ray Barnes up on the outside. Crazy Money DeVee. And true on the field, it's Don't Fire. They swing around the clubhouse turn. Some Big Bank Hanover on top by a length, driving up on the outside. Here comes Susquehanna, now second, locked in towards the inside. It is Me Too Baby. Halftime goes in 58-4. They strain out down the backstretch. Some Big Bank Hanover on top by a length, heading toward that 3/4 mile marker up on the outside with a burst of speed. Here comes Ray Barnes. Ray Barnes on the outside now second. Towards the inside, Me Too Baby. There goes Crazy Money DeVee moving up on the outside, racing in fourth. 3/4 here in 128 flat. They're on the final turn as some Big Bank Hanover continues to lead. Moving up on the outside, 3 wide, Crazy Money DeVee. From between horses, it's Ray Barnes. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home down on the inside. Some Big Bank Hanover digs in, bearing down on the outside. Here comes Ray Barnes, and Ray Barnes takes command. In deep stretch, it will be Ray Barnes in front. Some Big Bank Hanover was second. Crazy Money DeVee was third. Time for the mile, 1:57-2. Once again, the inquiry sign has been posted. It does concern the unofficial winner here, number 3, Ray Barnes, for possible interference to number 6, Crazy Money DeVee, at the The second race is official. Third race pacers lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the backstretch. Third race pacers in behind the gate. They're off and pacing from the inside. Checkpoint Chatter tries for the lead. There goes Haley's Little Comet showing sharp early speed. Straight Up Jazz on the outside is dropped in third. There was This Girl racing in fourth. Gap of a length and a half to Runaway Girl, followed by Marty's Girl, and true on the field, it's Althea. Paddock turned the first time. Haley's Little Comet on top here. She leads it by a length over Checkpoint Chatter as they pace by the opening quarter in 28 seconds flat. They're in the stretch for the first time. Haley's Little Comet on top by a length, driving up on the outside. Here comes Vernon Downs Invader. There was This Girl now second. Checkpoint Chatter is third. Straight Up Jazz fourth. Followed by Runaway Girl racing in fifth. Length back to Marty's Girl and trail on the field Althea. As they swing around the clubhouse turn up on the outside, there was This Girl down inside. Haley's Little Comet, those two heads apart for the lead. Halftime goes in 56-4. They straighten out down the backstretch. There was This Girl on the outside, comes on to get the lead. Haley's Little Comet now back to second. Shaking loose on the outside. There goes Checkpoint Chatter. Checkpoint Chatter on the attack on the outside third. Heading toward that three-quarter mile marker. Off stride, back of the pack. It's Marty's Girl. Also off stride, Althea. Althea has gone off stride. 3/4 here in 1:25 flat. They're on the final turn. There was This Girl. Even money favorite on top by 3. Towards the inside, Haley's Little Comet. Checkpoint Chatter will have to do better on the outside, racing third. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home. And it's There was This Girl striding out to a 5-length lead on the far outside. Straight Up Jazz in deep stretch. There was This Girl in front. Straight Up Jazz up for second. Checkpoint Chatter was third. Time for the mile, 1:54-3. Returning to the winner's circle, number 2, there was This Girl. 3-year-old Bay Filly by So Surreal. Out of the company store by American Gigolo. Owned by the George Ducharme stable and Heather Reese. Trained by George Ducharme. Driven to her first lifetime victory by Nick Raffam. There was This Girl pacing the mile in 1:54-3. For number 1, Stevic. Owned by Shirley Machad, driven by Ivan Davies. Number 2, Fogwatch. Owned by Ray Campbell Jr. and Catherine Dixon, the driver Mike Stevenson. Number 3, Emma Jean Jellybean, owned by Nelson DePompo Jr., Graham Smith, and DePompo, driven by Stephen Wilson. Scratch number 4, RFL's Aunt Thelma. Barmaid Express number 5, owned by Linda and Robert Kennedy, the driver Bruce Ranger. Number 6, Dewey Dog, owned by Eric Dixon, driven by Kevin Switzer Jr. Number 7, Trend, owned by Martha Holden and Mike Raffam, Nick Raffam driving. And number 8, Stormy Hills, owned by Don Richards, Mark Thurn in the sulky. Post time for the upcoming 4th race And the starter has called for the horses. Fourth race starters lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the back stretch. Fourth race trotters in behind the gate. They're off and trotting off straight back of the pack. Stormy Hills on a break. Down inside, Fogwatch going out for the lead. Right alongside Imogene Jellybean. Dewey Dog on the outside comes away third, followed by Barmaid Express, dropped in fourth. Off stride goes Fogwatch. Fogwatch is on a break. Rolling up on the outside, here comes Dewey Dog, and Dewey Dog comes on to get the lead. Racing in second, Imogene Jellybean, followed by Barmaid Express, racing third as they trot by the opening quarter in 29 seconds flat. They're in the stretch for the first time. Dewey Dog shows away by a length and a half. Imogene Jellybean is second, Barmaid Express third. Up on the outside, Stevic is fourth, followed up by Trend. Gap of four, Fogwatch. As they swing around the clubhouse turn, far back from the field at Stormy Hills, approaching the half-mile marker. Dewey Dog on top by a length. Imogene Jellybean is second. Up on the outside on the rim. Here comes Stevic from third. Half-time goes in 59 and 4. They stream out down the backstretch. It's Dewey Dog, 3 parts of a length. Here comes Stevic at 6 to 5 on the attack on the outside. And now Stevic on the outside comes on to get the lead. Dewey Dog back to second. Up on the outside. There goes Barmaid Express racing third. Locked in towards the inside. Imogene Jellybean racing in fourth. The length back. In fifth. It's Trend. 3/4 here in 1:28 and 4. They run the final turn. Stevic has opened up a 3-length lead. Barmaid Express on the outside is second. Dewey Dog towards the inside back to third. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home. And Stevic cuts the corner with a 3-length lead. On the outside, Barmaid Express. Dewey Dog towards the inside, coming down to the wire. It's Stevic showing the way. Barmaid Express, Dewey Dog at the wire. It will be Stevic in front. Barmaid Express was second, Dewey Dog third. Time for the mile, 1:58 and 2. Stevic, a 4-year-old day gelding by Victor Bluechip, out of HA's Baby by Andover Hall. Owned by Shirley Machad, trained and driven to victory by Ivan Davies. Stevic trotting the mile in 1:58 and 2. The fourth race is official. Here is the order of finish. Number 1 is Stevic. And the horses are on the track for the upcoming featured fifth race. A winners over trotting event. The purse $15,000. These are the trotters for race number 5. Number 1, Broadway Giant, owned by Ron Patoyne, driven by Jim Hardy. Number 2, Winding Hill, owned by Diane Whittemore, the driver Drew Monty. Number 3, Blue Knight, owned by Richard Mason Jr., driven by Ivan Davies. Number 4, Double Dealing, owned by Ray Campbell Jr., driven by Sean Gray. Vesuvio By, number 5, owned by Michelle Nelson and Eric Everett. Kevin Switzer Jr. driving. And number 6, Chav Hanover, owned by Diane Whittemore. Bruce Ranger in the sulky. Post time for race number 5 in 5 minutes until post time. Less than a minute. Post time less than 1 minute. The starter has called for the horses. The trotters are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. Race 5 trotters lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the back stretch. Fifth race trotters in behind the gate. They're off and trotting from the inside. Broadway Giant steps out for the lead. Right alongside there goes Winding Hill. Far outside there goes Vesuvio by. Double Dilling is dropped in. Racing in fourth. Gap of a length and a half to Blue Knight. And from the field it's Child Hanover. Midway through the paddock the first time. Vesuvio by on top here. It's Vesuvio by. Shown away by a length and a half. Right there in second, Winding Hill. Broadway Giant moving out towards the inside third. As they trot by the opening quarter in 27-4, they're in the stretch for the first time. And Kevin Switzer Jr. has Vesuvio by at 4-1 on the point. Winding Hill tracking in second. Broadway Giant is third. First up on the outside, here comes Double Dealing racing in fourth. Then comes Blue Knight, and from the field it's Child Hanover as they swing around the clubhouse turn. Vesuvio by in command. Winding Hill giving chase. In the pocket racing in second. Double Dilling up on the outside on the rim in third. Pinned in at the pylons. Broadway Giant is fourth. Halftime goes in 57-2. They straighten out down the backstretch. Vesuvio by continues to lead. Right there in second, Winding Hill. Up on the outside, Double Dealing. Locked in. Broadway Giant. On the outside, it's Blue Knight. And still trolling the field, it's Child Hanover. They round the fourth turn. Vesuvio by takes them by 3/4 here in 1:26 flat. They're on the final bend. It's Vesuvio by, and he's got the lead. Winding Hill right there with a clear shot. Racing in second towards the inside. Broadway Giant is third. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home. Vesuvio by, sit down for the stretch drive. Shaking loose on the outside. Here comes Winding Hill. Winding Hill bearing down, and Winding Hill takes command far outside. Here comes Broadway Giant deep stretch. It will be Winding Hill in front. Broadway Giant was second. Chop Hanover third. Time for the mile 1:55 and 3. Returning to the winner circle number 2, Winding Hill. A 10-year-old gelding by Here Comes Herbie. Out of Andover Bay by Andover Hall. Owned by Diane Whittemore, trained by Marissa Chadbourne. Driven to victory by Drew Monty. Winding Hill trotting the mile in 1:55 and 3. The fifth race is official. Here is a condition running event. The purse $12,500. These are the trotters for race number 6. Number 1 is Marquise Lafayette, owned by the Great Horse Stable, driven by Bruce Ranger. Number 2, Dixie Slippers, owned by John and Susan Muldoon, the driver Wally Watson. Number 3 is Gertrude Hanover, owned by George Palukian, driven by Sean Gray. Number 4 is I Have a Dream, owned by the Jezreel Stable, driven by Kevin Switzer Jr. Prescott, number 5, owned by Bruce Weinstein, the driver Drew Monty. Number 6, Miracle Finish, owned by Christopher Bassford, driven by Nick Reffum. Number 7, Gracie Under Fire, owned by Robin Crocier in the Layton Property Stable, driven by Ivan Davies. Number 8, Magic Bob, owned by Diane Whittemore. Matt Thurn driving, and number 9, Southwind Surge, owned by the DeStefano and Son Stable, Mike Stevenson in the sulky. Post time for race 6 in 4 minutes until post time. 1 minute post time in 1 minute. Under a minute post time, less than 1 minute. The starter has called for the horses. The trotters are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. Race 6 riders lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the back stretch. Race 6 riders in behind the gate. They're off and trotting from the inside. Dixie Slippers going out for the lead. Also on the move, there goes I Have a Dream. Gertrude Hanover on the outside away third. Marquis Lafayette settles in fourth, a length back to Prescott, followed up by Miracle Finish, Gracie Under Fire. Then comes Magic Bob and Trill the Field, that Southwind Surge. Paddock on the first time. I Have a Dream on top here, showing by a length and a half. Dixie Slippers right there in second as they trot by the opening quarter in 27 and 4. They're in the stretch for the first time. And Yonkers Raceway Invader, I Have a Dream at 7 and 2 will set the tempo. Dixie Slippers riding the pocket in second. Gertrude Hanover trots third. Marquis Lafayette underway on the outside fourth, followed up by Prescott. Then comes Miracle Finish. Gap of 2, Magic Bomb towards the inside. As they swing around the clubhouse turn, moving up on the outside, Southwind Surge. And now Trill the Field at the back of the pack. That is Gracie Under Fire. Halftime goes in 58 and 3. They string out down the backstretch. Out on top of the field, it's I Have a Dream by a length. Up on the outside, Marquis Lafayette. Towards the inside, Dixie Slippers. Those two heads apart, second and third. Prescott up on the outside, second over, locked in towards the inside. Now off stride goes Gertrude Hanover. Gertrude Hanover has gone off stride. 3/4 on the board here in 1. 27 and 3. They run the final turn. Here comes Marquis Lafayette on the outside, coming on to get the lead. I Have a Dream back to second. Prescott trying to close the gap on the outside, racing third up on the outside, 3 wide. Here comes Magic Bob racing in fourth. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home. It's Marquis Lafayette on top by 2. Prescott on the outside, racing in second. Magic Bob is third. Deep stretch. It will be Marquis Lafayette in front. Prescott was second. Magic Bob third. Time for the mile, 1:57 and 2. Returning to the winner's circle, number 1, Marquis Lafayette. A 4-year-old gelding by Ready Cash at a high score, Kemp by Muscles Yankee. Owned by the Great Horse Stable, trained by Domenico Ciceri, and driven to victory by Bruce Ranger. Marquis Lafayette trotting the mile in 1:57 and 2. Race number 7. Number 1 is Annie OK, owned by John Dunleavy Jr. and Ellen Emerson, the driver Nick Raffam. Number 2, Quartz in Session, owned by Alice Spila and the 2 Gus Racing Stable, driven by Bob Tisbert. Number 3 is H.S. Marcia, owned by Emery Pelletier, the driver Kevin Switzer Jr. Number 4, Wanna Hall, owned by Terrence McGee, the driver Bruce Ranger. Rocho Vic, number 5, owned by Mike Cushing, driven by Stephen Wilson. Number 6 is B.J. Rowdy, owned by Mark Bouthier, driven by Jim Hardy. Number 7, Dialachik, owned by the DeStefano and Son stable, Mike Stevenson driving. And number 8, Surprise Mission, owned by Lynn and Paul Silva, Drew Monty in the sulky. Post horses. The Trotters are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. 7th race Trotters lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the backstretch. 7th race Trotters in behind the gate. They're off and trotting from the inside. H.S. Marcia going out for the lead. Far outside, there goes Dialachik. Good start for Dialachik. Rocho Vic on the outside away third. B.J. Rowdy moving up on the outside. Down inside, Courts in Session. Length back to Wanna Hall. Followed up by Annie OK. And true on the field, it's Surprise Mission. Had a turn the first time. Dialachik on the front end. Dialachik leads it by about 2. Racing in second, H.S. Marcia. Rocho Vic is third. Quarter time goes in 27-2. They're in the stretch for the first time. And Mike Stevenson has Dialachik on top by a length. Right there in second, H.S. Marcia. Moving up on the outside. Here comes Courts in Session. Underway from third. Locked in now. Rocho Vic up on the outside. Wanna Hall. At the pylons, B.J. Rowdy followed by Annie OK. Surprise Mission at the back of the pack. As they swing around the clubhouse turn, it's Dialachik and he's got the lead. Pocket Trip, H.S. Marcia. Right there, tucked in, racing in second. Up on the outside, Courts in Session on the rim third. They're halfway home in 57-4. They straighten out down the backstretch. And it's Dialachik still with the lead, heading toward that 3/4 mile marker. H.S. Marcia is second. Rocho Vic toward the inside, up on the outside, Courts in Session. Wanna Hall will have to go 3 wide, second over and fifth as they round the far turn. And now Dialachik is loose on the lead, opening up by 4. 3/4 on the board here in 1:27 flat. They round the final turn, it's Dialachik with the lead towards the inside, H.S. Marcia giving chase. Racing in second, down inside, Rocho Vic is third, up on the outside, Wanna Hall is fourth. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home. Off stride on the front end, a costly break for Dialachik. Dialachik is off stride. It's now H.S. Marcia with the lead by 2 on the outside. Wanna Hall far outside. Here comes Antioch Deep Stretch HS Marcia in front. Time for the mile 1:58 and 3. Returning to the winner's circle, number 3, HS Marcia. A 6-year-old mare by Donato Hanover, out of Keystone, Ariana by Dunrail, owned by Emery Pelletier, trained by Randy Bickmore, driven to victory by Kevin Switzer Jr. HS Marcia trotting the mile in 1:58 and 3. The purse $10,000. These are the trotters for the 8th race, number 1, Trotting for Cash. Owned by Diane Dunn, driven by Bruce Ranger. Number 2, Tabasco. Owned by the DeStefano and Son stable, driven by Mike Stevenson. Number 3, Maniel, owned by Stephen Picarazzi and Brett DeRue, the driver Sean Gray. Number 4 is LD's Yo-Yo Ma, owned by Emery Pelletier, driven by Drew Campbell. Mouthpiece number 5, owned by William Phipps, the driver Matt at third. Number 6, Sortie Hanover, owned by William McElvain Jr., driven by Drew Monty. Number 7, Therapeutic, owned by the Clunis Nantes stables, Walter Lafreniere driving. And number 8, Once One for All, owned by Joe Wheeler, Wally Watson, and the Sulky. Post time for the upcoming 8th race. The starter has called for the horses. The trotters are making their way back to the starting gate. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. Eighth race trotters lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the backstretch. Eighth race trotters in behind the gate. They're off and trotting from the inside. Trotting for cash. Steps out for the lead. There goes LD Yo-Yo Ma. 3 wide, Sortie Hanover. Manny L towards the inside comes away fourth. A length back to Tabasco. Up on the outside, Therapeutic. Followed up by Mouthpiece and trailing the field. That's one, Swan for All. Paddock turned the first time. It's Trotting for Cash. Trotting for Cash on top here. Shown away by a length and a half. LD's Yo-Yo Ma right there in second. Sortie Hanover at the pylons in third. Opening quarter goes in 26 and 4. They're in the stretch for the first time. And Bruce Ranger has Trotting for Cash on top by 2.5 here. It's Trotting for Cash at 11 to 1 on top by 2. LD Yo-Yo Ma is second. Sortie Hanover at the cones in third. Length back in fourth. It's Manny L as they swear on the clubhouse turn. Fifth on the inside. It's Tabasco. Length back to Therapeutic. Moving up on the outside. Mouthpiece and still trailing the field. One for All. Halftime goes in 56 and 3. They straighten out down the backstretch. Trotting for Cash loose on the lead. LD's Yo-Yo Ma towards the inside is second. Up on the outside. Sortie Hanover is third. Ground setting fourth. It's Manny L, gap of 2, Tabasco. Mouthpiece followed by Therapeutic and trailing the field. It's one for All as they round the fourth turn. Trotting for Cash. Putting up all the numbers here. Takes them by 3/4 in 1:25 and 3. And around the final turn, it's Trotting for Cash, and he's got the lead. LD Yo-Yo Ma with a clear shot right there, racing in second. Up on the outside. 3 wide, here comes Manny L. 4 wide, Tabasco. They're at the top of the stretch. And turn for home from between horses. LD Yo-Yo Ma on the grandstand side. Here comes Tabasco gobbling up ground from between horses. Manny L. It's now Manny L. Tabasco, Manny L. At the wire, they are heads apart. Time for the mile 56 and 3. Returning to the winner's circle, number 2, Tabasco. A 6-year-old gelding by Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe at a Tory Hall by Conway Hall. Owned by the DeStefano and Son stable, trained by John DeStefano, and driven to victory by Mike Stevenson. Tabasco trotting the mile in 1:56 and 3. Eighth race is official. Here is the order finish. Number one, Trot for Cash was sixth. Tabasco, your race winner. Maniel second. LD Yo-Yo Ma third. Mouthpiece fifth. Sortie Hanover was eighth. Therapeutic Day's ninth race finale. Winners over trotting event. The purse $20,000. Junior. The driver Kevin Switzer Jr. Number 3, Explosive Ridge, owned by Eaton, McHugh, Griffin, and Young. The driver Bruce Ranger. Number 4, Pappy Go-Go, owned by the Michael Goldberg Racing Stable, driven by Drew Monte. Only passing through number 5, owned by Diane Whittemore, driven by Wally Watson. Number 6, Mystical Somali, owned by Joe Stanislawski, driven by Drew Campbell. Number 7 is Jericho, owned by Linda and Robert Kenny and the DeStefano and Son Stable, the driver Mike Stevenson. Number 8 is Lucky Weekend, owned by the Jezreel Stable, showing great driving. And number 9, In Excess, owned by Sandra Ballou and Robert Killian. Jim Hardy and the Soul. It is now post time. The horses are approaching the starting gate. Ninth race trotters lining up and moving in. This field is in motion. And the gate moves on to the backstretch. Nightcap trotters in behind the gate. Ninth and final here at Plainridge Park. They're off and trotting from the inside. Explosive Ridge sent out for the lead. Right alongside Pappy Go-Go. On the outside, there goes Mystical Somali. Down inside Night Craze. Racing in fourth, back, only passing through up on the outside. Lucky Weekend, followed by Jericho. Length back to Majestic Marvel. And the field in excess. Panic on the first time. Pappy Go-Go takes command. Pappy Go-Go draws clear. Leads it by a length. Opening quarter on the board goes in 27-1. They're in the stretch for the first time. And Drew Monte has Pappy Go-Go on top. Charging hard. Here comes Lucky Weekend. Off stride, back, Majestic Marvel is off stride. As they swing around the clubhouse turn. It's now Lucky Weekend. On top here, showing by length, racing in second, Pappy Go-Go. Explosive Ridge at the cones in third. Up on the outside, only passing through, locked in. Mystical Somali. Jericho up on the outside, followed by Midnight Craze. Then comes In Excess, in through the field, back on the trot, Majestic Marvel. Halftime goes in 56-1. Heading toward that three-quarter marker. It's Lucky Weekend on the front end, showing the way by length. Down inside, Pappy Go-Go, only passing through on the outside. Moving up on the outside, second over there goes Jericho, racing in fourth. Three-quarters on the board here in 125-2. They're on the final turn. It's Lucky Weekend, 3 parts of a length, only passing through right on the outside. Those two now heads apart. Only passing through on the outside. Lucky Weekend digs in. They're at the top of the stretch and turn for home on the grandstand side. Only passing through. Lucky Weekend bounce back towards the inside there. Stride for stride as they drive for the wire on the outside. Only passing through and Lucky Weekend holds on. Time for the mile, 1:55 flat. Way Hall, owned by the Jezreel Stable, trained by Sheena McElhaney, and driven to victory by Sean Gray. Lucky Weekend, trotting the mile in 1:55 flat.